YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Big Beard B, and we are back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today I have a treat for you because, well, I have some phenomenal fragrances. In fact, we're talking about 5 incredible fragrances that you need to know. Yes, you need to know these fragrances. These are not the most well-known fragrances, but they do get a little bit of burn on YouTube. So if you are just tuning in, you may be experiencing these fragrances for the first time, and well, that is okay. So I'll tell you about the fragrances that I just experienced for the first time, and I can tell you that these fragrances were really like love at first sniff. And I'll go ahead and start with the first fragrance here from a company called Geeza. Now, for full disclosure, what I'll tell you is that the fragrance company, the owner, he sent me 5 fragrances. I don't know how long ago it was, but I did take these with me to Dallas, depending on when you're watching this video, because I'm not sure when it will release, a few weeks ago, okay? that should do it. And the fragrance that I really became, I would say, more intimately involved with is a fragrance by the name of Coco Moon. Now, the fragrances that he did send me, again, there were 5 of them, but this one here did stand out to me along with the ocean water, not the ocean water. That one did stand out to me as well, but I do want to talk to you about this one here. Now, Coco Moon, as you may guess, is something that, well, is not your everyday run-of-the-mill type of scent. But looking at the bottle here, you have a moon. You also have this beach-like scene within the little picture here, and I'll tell you that this is a tropical scent without being, or too citrusy, or, well, too tropical. And that's what I do enjoy about this scent. There is this coconut within this fragrance, and typically if you're new to the fragrance world and you haven't dived in a ton, your mind typically goes to things like Creed's Virgin Island Water, some Tommy Bahama fragrances, but I will tell you that this fragrance really stands on its own, and I really enjoy what he did with this scent. In fact, when I was spending my time with these fragrances, really diving into it, I even went as far as put this one on my story as my scent of the day, because again, this is a fragrance that I was really enjoying. I was becoming more intimately involved with this scent. And with this fragrance, you tend to get coconut, as I mentioned, you get pineapple within this fragrance, you get some bergamot, tuberose, jasmine, vanilla, sandalwood, benzoin, and oak moss within this scent as well. And that's kind of where I said, like, this is a tropical fragrance without being like a too overpowering tropical beachy scent, although you still get all of those elements within the fragrance. One of the things that, in my opinion, that sets this one apart from like a Virgin Island Water is it does have a tropical feel, but the citrus within this fragrance isn't overpowering. In fact, the citrus within this fragrance isn't really like the full life of this fragrance. Now, as I mentioned, there is some pineapple within this fragrance and some coconut there, which you'll get in the top, but this isn't like a Ventus. And typically when we're talking about pineapple and fragrances, this is where people minds go. When I smell this fragrance, it smells tropical, but there's also a certain warmth brought about with this fragrance, like this je ne sais quoi, that I'm thinking it comes from more so that benzoin and that vanilla within this scent. And oftentimes when we think of uber tropical fragrances, they sometimes lean to like a tanning lotion type of smell. Is it a tanning lotion? I'm not sure. But you see where I'm going with it. This scent really has it all. It performs, it smells great, and it's a scent that I had to come back to over and over and over again because it really kept drawing me in. That's how good that fragrance is. So if you have not had the opportunity to try this fragrance, again, the company is called Geeza. I'll have it linked and listed down below for you beach goers out there, but Coco Moon is on the list today. Now, this next fragrance I want to talk about comes from a fragrance house of Kierin, okay? And this company is one that I came across years ago. And in fact, she introduced me to this line. She said, hey, let me send you some things. And it was Sunday Brunch was one of the fragrances that were sent to me. And there were some others as well. I think 2 or 3 others that she sent me over the years. And Mona is the owner of this company. And this one here, Kierin's Santal Park, is just a all-out banger. Now, from my understanding, this is the fragrance that she curated on her own, and listen, I am just a fan of this scent. Hence the reason why I sprayed this one on. I've been coming back to this fragrance so much, and I feel so bad that I haven't had the opportunity to hop into this fragrance yet on the channel, because I think a lot of you out there will really appreciate what this fragrance does. Santal Park is a fragrance that is known for being sensual and refreshing. And for me, I find this fragrance to be very seductive, which is one of the reasons that I think I find myself just coming back to it over and over again in terms of how this fragrance smells. And when you think about what this fragrance house stands for, and just the stance that they have taken with society, and also in making sure that their products are cruelty free, you cannot go wrong with a fragrance like Santal Park. Now, the fragrance is an eau de parfum concentration, and when you really just dive into what this fragrance is all about, again, what they're doing in society, this fragrance really is one for all. Again, it's sensual, it's woody, and it's also floral and quite refreshing, so to speak. There's some sandalwood within this fragrance, gardenia, saffron, and oak moss. I could not be happier with this scent. Again, they've been really just banging fragrances out of the park. You got Sunday Brunch, Nitro Noir, there's that Rose Ink, I believe the name of that one, and Santal Park here. Very phenomenal fragrances. And there's also one that has this, like, man, I can't remember the name of it. I can see it right here, but it is like, it's white and blue. The fragrance really has like this oceanic vibe to it. One of the fragrances that I believe transforms and takes you on a whole journey, just with a spray, right? Spray and it'll take you on a journey. So be sure to try out this house if you have not yet. The House of Kierin. Be sure to try them out. I have them linked and listed down below for you if you have not had the opportunity to. And it's a independent house that shows that you can get luxury in a fragrance without overpaying. So again, I think it's a house that a lot of you out there will enjoy. And speaking of houses that people enjoy, this next fragrance house is one that I am in love with, and I have been in love with them for years. They went away, they came back, and I still have them. And this one happens to be from Commodity, and this one is Commodity Velvet Plus. Now, I'll probably talk about Commodity Velvet Plus more so as we get into the winter time, but I know some of you, if you're like me, you like to make sure that you are prepared when things go down. So if you're looking for one of those to wear in like the fall, then I think the Commodity Velvet would work best for you. There's also a minus that I think would do better in spring and summer if you're looking for this type of DNA. But the Velvet Plus is more so going to be for that late fall, winter as one of the fragrances that are there. This to me is just like sensual seduction in the bottle, and it's a house that not everyone is up on. And if you have not gotten your nose on fragrances from this house, then you are missing out. You have velvet, you have musk, you have gold, you have moss, and the list goes on. So be sure to try these fragrances out. Commodity Velvet Plus is the more bold, more expressive version of the OG of Velvet, which has, oh man, just that cardamom within the fragrance. It's sensual, and it's a fragrance that you want to smell over and over again. Saffron, spices on deck with this scent, but it's done in a sensual way that is very, very just pleasing and pleasant to the nose. So Commodity Velvet Plus, be sure to try that fragrance out from the house of, well, Commodity. Now, the next fragrance I want to talk about is a fragrance called Hibiscus MahaJad from the house of Maison Crivelli, okay? I've gotten this one in my collection either early in 2022 or late 2021, and this is a top tier scent. In fact, I remember being in Dallas a few weeks ago, and I was into a store, and a group of young ladies came in and they were looking for a fragrance, and the sales associate took them to this fragrance here because, well, it's phenomenal. Okay, they started smelling this fragrance and was like, oh, that smells so good. This scent here is spice and everything nice along with florals. Okay, and this scent here is not going to be for everyone. All right, if you are like a super manly man and you don't have any space in your collection for a floral, then this fragrance isn't going to work for you. And you could be a super manly man and still have space in your collection for a floral, and if so, then this is one that you want to try. This has this piercing spice with it that is just sensual. It is nice. It is very different than a lot of things on the market today, and I think what they did with this here is just amazing. They made something incredible, just like they made up the name. They said MahaJad means nothing. Okay, but hibiscus is within this fragrance. Listen, when you look at the clean presentation here, you get a fragrance that is clean, you get a fragrance that performs, it's spicy, it's sexy, it's floral, all in one, and I don't think you will go wrong with this scent. Obviously, this is one of those fragrances that if it doesn't sound like, hey, I love what he's talking about within this scent, you may want to wait, right? You may want to get your nose on it. You may not want it to be a blind buy. But if you can see yourself with rose, vanilla, leather, mint, cassis, cinnamon, etc., then this is a fragrance that you are going to want to double click, purchase on, and just wait for it to come in and be amazed when it does. So Hibiscus MahaJad from the house of Maison Crivelli. And the final fragrance that I want to talk about is also a fragrance that in the same store that I talked about on this one, although I did have both of them in my collection, I went into the store and I said, hey, do you have any gourmand fragrances here? And he said, hey, have you tried this fragrance? And I said, ho, I have. And the fragrance that we're talking about is none other than that of Dulce Diablo. This scent here is a gourmand, boozy scent with freshness. The way that they've done this collection here is amazing. Now, what I'll tell you, they had two other fragrances from this house there. I wasn't a fan. But this one here, this one right here though, yes. You don't need to wait on this scent here. This is one of these fragrances that you can wear on cuddle buddy activity. If you want to just smell amazing, you want to smell different than the crowd, you want to have something that is editable. What? If you want to have something that is edible, you want to have something that is bold, you want to have something that is boozy, you want to have something that you can feel proud wearing, then Dulce Diablo is a fragrance that you would want to try. Okay, I'll have this one linked and listed down below for you, as well as the others that we've talked about, because these are 5 fragrances that are very different but very similar at the same time, as you can't go into your big box retailers and pick these fragrances up in most cases. All right, you got to find a specialized fragrance boutique or a place that has some fragrances that are not the average run-of-the-mill fragrances, and you will be very, very happy with if not all 5 of these fragrances, at least one of these fragrances will satisfy your craving to smell different, not to smell average, but to also smell amazing and be in a position for compliments if that's what you're looking for. Listen, these 5 fragrances are one that I stand beside, stand behind, etc. I am a huge fan of what these fragrances offer, as well as some of the people behind them. I've had a few conversations with, these two, but that's it. But I've just been a fan of Commodity forever. Hibiscus MahaJad. Listen, I don't know anybody that works for them, for Maison Crivelli, but hey, that fragrance is dope, and definitely don't know anyone that works here. But what I can tell you is that these fragrances all work in their own right. That's all I have for you today. Have you tried these fragrances out? If so, comment down below and let us know which ones and what your experience was with them. As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn